Is the South losing its Southern hospitality? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, we still got red beans and rice on Mondays. We still got sweet tea. We still make gumbo when it's cold. We still consider cold to be 60 degrees or above. There's still things that represent the South. But if we're being honest, I recently heard that somebody made a pot of gumbo, and they couldn't help it because, they were Hispanic. So they had to put lemon and lime in the gumbo. I'm like, I ain't got nothing against it. You can put whatever you want in gumbo. It's whatever you want. But realistically, if you're from the South, you ain't putting no lemon lime in no gumbo. That's just not an ingredient that goes in that. I mean, you can put your own twist on it, but we're talking about Southern hospitality and we're talking about the South. Does it still exist? Does Southern hospitality still exist today? And if I'm being honest with my own perception, I'm looking around me and things just look different. The world looks different. But does the world look different? Because the reality is everybody wants to flock to the United States. But they don't just want to flock to the United States. They're realizing that, it's not really that great in some places in the United States because of the taxation and the governmental systems and the crime they have in place. Now, crime is always bad in the South. I get it. It's not perfect, But why are people fleeing California and New York and coming to the South and they still bringing that same mindset from California and New York to the South? And you're trying to establish your culture in the South. In the South, we receive everybody with open arms. We're not as separated as people think. I grew up in Louisiana, South Louisiana. I mean, most of my life, I've been moving from Louisiana to Mississippi. That's the two states I've been in the most. I've only lived in Louisiana, but I spent a lot of time in Mississippi because Mississippi's right next door to us. Maybe after that, it's Texas and Florida, Alabama. This is all the South. We consider this the South. And when you get into the deep South, the Southern hospitality's roots have this requirement where we still say thank you. If somebody holds a door open for you, you say thank you in the South. That's just the way it is. You were raised to say thank you since you was a little boy or a little girl. Nowadays, and especially from up north on the West Coast, y'all don't believe in saying thank you or you're welcome or yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. We speak those words down here still. It's a way of life. It's how we live. We don't necessarily have to always agree with each other, but we still invite each other inside for a cup of coffee, cup of sweet tea, you know what I mean? And a bite of food, plate of food. You bring a plate of food to your neighbor. That's the way it used to be. You put that chicken on the plate, that potato salad, them red beans, that rice, and you put some foil on it and you bring it to your neighbor and say, look, my mama just told me to bring this to you. That's the way it used to be. But now you have a lot of different cultures that are coming into the South and they're bringing their cultures. And listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm in Louisiana and I see a lot of Middle Eastern cultures. They're coming here and they're separating themselves from our culture. How do you think that makes us feel? We're welcoming you in with open arms. We're saying, welcome in. Welcome to the family. But then you're shutting us out and this is our home? Imagine a world where you come to visit the South and Southern hospitality doesn't exist any longer. It's like you're visiting New York or California or some third world country. Do you really want that? When you visit Louisiana, don't you want to hear that Southern twang? When you go to Alabama or Georgia, don't you still want to hear that Southern twang? Maybe not no more, I mean, do you want lemon and lime in your gumbo? These are questions we need to ask ourselves. Even in the prison system in the South, even inmates and guards still have this mutual respect for one another. Even though the guards are brutal in the prison system in Louisiana, and you hear a lot of stories from the other prison channels and prison content creators about inmates on inmates, in the South, the guards will whoop you Dudes fear the guards more than they fear anybody else. You can get your issue. They will catch you in the cut and do you something dirty. But they'll still share some of their food with you, even if they ain't supposed to. Black and white inmates could still break bread with one another. You know? When I grew up in a neighborhood that had Confederate flags. And I remember back in the 80s, they used to have the African, the nation of Africa, the continent of Africa on a little bitty, medallion, and people would wear it around their neck. And they had dudes, we'd be playing football. I'm telling you, some of the guys had Confederate flag t-shirts and some of them had the African medallions or Malcolm X t-shirt, and they still played football together. They still went hunting squirrels together. I remember that. That's the world I remember. Way in the back of Marrero. It was a different time. I don't know what to say, man. But somebody being from the South, and listen, my grandmother integrated to America from Japan. And she embraced American life. My grandfather's from Louisiana. He a soprano. That's right, soprano. Like the TV show The Sopranos, he's Italiano soprano. He married a Japanese woman. She embraced not just American culture, but Southern culture. My mom and my aunts, they're a representation of the South, even though they're Japanese. And there's a lot of people in the South, Vietnamese people, who you can meet, and they might be second or third generation, but you could tell they from the South. They say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. I was recently holding a door open for a restaurant, and a dude walked out. He looked me in his eyes. He looked me in my eyes, I'm sorry. And he had his hands full of food. And you could see he wasn't preoccupied. He looked me right in the face. We locked eyes. I kind of nodded at him. He didn't nod at me. He didn't even say thank you. I wanted to let that door fall back and hit him. I was recently in a store, and they had a dude on the phone, and he was speaking, I'm guessing, I don't know language to language, but I know the difference when somebody's speaking Spanish, Indian, or Middle Eastern. And he was speaking Middle Eastern, and he was walking back and forth on the phone. And there was a big space between us. It was in a Taco Bell. And he kept getting closer and closer to me. I'm like, man, what this dude's doing? You know what I mean? And finally, he bumped into me. He literally bumped into me. Like this dude, it was on purpose. It was intentional. He bumped into me, and there was no reason for him to be talking. And he was talking loud on the phone. And he bumped into me. And when he bumped into me, I said, say, bro, man, what you did, man, what you want to do? Don't touch me. Don't bump into me. I literally, that's what I told him. I said, man, what's wrong with you, bro? You remember? And he was like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Man, you testing me. In the South, we do have Southern hospitality. But we also got Southern tempers, too. We don't like to be, we welcome you in with open arms. But if you come over here poking on us, terrorizing us and taunting us, we're going to fight back. My man bumped into me, and he got checked, and he tucked his tail real quick. He ain't the first one that happened to. I had happened to some other dude. I was recently, and look, as you can see, most people would consider me to be fully white, fully European, but you know that I'm also Japanese, also mixed with some other things too, including Middle Eastern. But I was in a restaurant doing DoorDash, picking up some food, and they had a black dude, and he was waiting. He was a black dude from Louisiana, stereotypical, regular Southern person. We could recognize each other from recognizing each other. And he was waiting to pick up the food. He was a DoorDasher. And another dude walks in, a Spanish dude. Obviously not from here, because you can tell the difference between somebody who's from here. Now, I knew he wasn't from here. Dude knew he wasn't from here. He cut in front of the line, and the black dude's like, say, bro, man, you just walked in front of me. He's like, blah, 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 blah. And the dude's like, man, don't cut in front of me in the line, man. Don't disrespect me like that. And this was a black dude, and a Spanish dude did it to him. I had that happen multiple times where people cut in front of me in the line, and they were always foreigners. We don't do that in the South. We respect one another. Whoever's in the line first is in the line first. You just get on behind them or get on behind whoever else was there first. But the first person up is the first person up. They don't recognize that. I had an Asian lady who was clearly not from here. She walked right in front of me, and I said, man, what you doing? Now, we got Southern hospitality. If you standing here kind, I'm going to say you can go. We do that all the time. Go ahead. I'll get after you. But don't just walk over me like I don't exist. We're living in a different place, man. And I love my culture. Everybody's told to love their culture, but y'all want rain on the South? And you want to eliminate our culture? Doesn't our culture matter? We still say grace. We still say our prayers. We still say God bless you. And we still say Merry Christmas. I understand that might not be going around in other places in the United States. But we're talking about the deep South, man. This is some crazy stuff, y'all. I'm just sharing my thoughts. And like I said, even in Southern prisons, and y'all know this is a crime and prison related channel where I did a lot of time, there was still Southern hospitality. There was still a respect level. Even people who came from other states and did time here, they began to say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir. No, sir, to the correctional officers. And they blew their mind when they got the same respect back from the correctional officer. Not all the time. I got stories on that. But you know what I mean. By and large, the mentality of the South. Anyway, man, thanks for watching the Pen and the Shank, the most unusual and unique crime and prison related channel on YouTube. Go check out my other videos and give me a like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you can see when another video drops. Let's get it.